In this episode of Heart Talk, I'm discussing classical music. Now, many of us have heard this term classical music. Many people sing its praises. It's often referred to as the creme de la creme of all forms of music, and it's always held in high esteem. There are some who even get egoistic or arrogant about performing or playing classical music. I only play or I only listen to classical music, and other forms of music are not really music. And then there are those who have a strong defense against classical music. I don't like classical music. It's always too boring or too draggy to listen to. So today's discussion is, what really is classical music? Well, generally in the West, it refers to a standard type of music of any country or region. The origins of this music is normally traditional or religious or folk music, but classical music is codified, meaning that it is formally composed and written by some musician. It is arranged in some sort of order for different musicians to play different parts. Classical music contains a fixed form or structure and conforms to the norms of the standard music of that country or that region. In the West, classical music forms can refer to sophisticated musical structures such as a concerto, a symphony, or a sonata, or a mixed vocal and instrumental form like operas or cantatas. Indian classical music generally refers to the codified, traditional, religious, and folk music of the Indian subcontinent, which includes India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Even here, there is a little bit of a difference. The northern parts, the music that has emerged from the northern parts of India, has come to be defined as Hindustani classical music, and the music that emerged from the southern part of India has come to be known as Carnatic classical music. Now, both these forms of music revolve around the concept of raga and tala, and these are the melodic and rhythmic structures which define Indian classical music in its entirety. Raga specifies to the kinds of notes that can be used and also how they can be used. They can be arranged in a certain way in an ascending and descending fashion, and even the tone of each note is sometimes specified, with some notes containing accents or emphasis. There is even a time of day in which a raga should be performed, and this could be specified in the raga as well, with some ragas even going further to specify the season in which they may be sung or played. Whereas tal refers to the rhythmic cycle of beats that accompany any melodic composition, and a tal aims to create a pattern or patterns of sound using accented or stressed beats, unstressed beats or silent beats, and some beats pronounced in double time or even quadruple time. This creates patterns of sound which becomes the platform or the base on which a raga is played. This system of music, Indian classical music, has created hundreds and thousands of compositions over the last few centuries, with some even claiming that they date back to millennia. Many famous composers are recognized as stalwarts of Indian classical music, and today there are even annual festivals organized all around the world in their memories, with adoring fans reliving and singing and performing these cherished compositions time and again. So, what are the benefits of classical music? Well, for starters, the easy ones are they make you think and analyze and organize and memorize, which is always good exercise for your brain. Performing classical music compositions may also require skill, the exercising of your vocal cords or your fingers, and gaining dexterity and strength in your fingers and your muscle joints, which is always good physically for you. Well, because learning any form of classical music may take time, it might also teach you a lesson or two in patience and being able to take life in a stride. You learn to breathe. It also relaxes you in the process. But then there are also more intangible benefits of classical music. Many people tell me, well, I just don't get classical music. It's easier to appreciate pop music or film music, isn't it? Well, the only example I can give is to equate this with food. Some foods may be instantly gratifying, but they may not be always good for you in the long term. The pleasure that you get from these foods may be momentary, but there may be very little long-term benefits, and on the contrary, there may be long-term damage that is created by these types of foods. Whereas there are other types of foods, they may not taste so great. They may take effort to consume. But as science has proven over the years, these foods may have great benefits for your long-term well-being, such as mental fitness, agility, stamina, and the ability to withstand and overcome illnesses and so on. Similarly, classical music may take some effort to listen to or to perform, at least initially. But the long-term benefits of doing this may be plentiful. Classical music has been attributed to many things: developing a good balanced brain, the ability to think critically, and the ability to absorb academic work better. Classical music also relaxes you, reduces blood pressure, and thus prevents other associated diseases. Learning to sing and play an instrument can also give you some exercise, whether it is breathing and exercising your lungs and your vocal cords, or mobilizing and strengthening your fingers and even your sitting posture. There are many other therapeutic benefits too. There are many studies being conducted with more and more positive results emerging that classical music can be used to treat patients with diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, to help generate good tissue growth for a yet to be born child within the womb, and help or even cure people with anxiety and depression problems. So, in summary, if you are considering to learn a form of classical music or sit and listen to a selection of music on your stereos, think about classical music. The take-home message for today will be: it is never too late, it is always beneficial for you in many, many ways, and think and choose healthily. This has been Heart Talk. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.